Hello, this is Jeninemarie. I'm glad to have you with me. We are talking about vulnerability in true romantic love. Stick with me. I'll see you there. I think one of the greatest, I guess, misunderstandings or mysteries is what true love is supposed to be. True romantic love between two people. And I don't mean the romantic dance, the looks in people's eyes and the sweet talk or, the physicality of what love might look like. We look in the Bible in the Song of Solomon, and we have a beautiful example of two people who are absolutely stricken by one another. And the full focus is not on the physical act of making love, but verbally expressing love. It's a type and shadow of God's love for the Holy Bride. But I want to actually go to Carl Jung and talk about what true love and his insights as a prominent Swiss psychiatrist. And he's like one of my, I want to say, mentors, because everything that he talks about are the things I've always wondered about. So when we discuss true love in the eyes of Carl Jung, he often emphasized the importance of individuation, the integration of different aspects of the self. He believed that true love emerges when two individuals have worked on their personal growth. And this is just really important. How can you give or gift yourself to another person until you really know who you are? And I mean, think about that. What are you giving to someone if you don't even know what your identity is? And, sometimes I think we just free fall, It's like we're attracted, and all of a sudden we think we are falling in love. And what it really is our desire to find our own love within ourselves. Seriously. So, Jung believed that true love emerges when two individuals have actually worked on their personal growth and can learn to deeply appreciate one another's individuality. The connection is one that transcends mere physical attraction. It goes beyond, just looking at another person and feeling like, wow, I am so attracted. You always know when you're attracted to someone because what? Your body will react. However your body decides to react. You know your body. Your body understands that energy when there is a major attraction. Someone walks into the room, you pick up on all of the stuff that are so similar. It's like two magnets coming together. But Carl Jung talked about that beautiful appreciation of one another as a connection that transcends any physical attraction. It's a meeting of the mind and the soul. So, in order to do that and to experience that, You really have to know what you believe and where your mindset is at, and do a lot of work on the inner part of your soul. And I'm not saying that you have to wait like centuries to actually experience a relationship with someone. I don't want to give the impression that you have to back up and wait in a corner and just sit there and journal and work on yourself. Although, that's a good move, but we need to experience as well. And we need to learn to let go and to be ourselves in the presence of another person, and to learn how to be vulnerable in the presence of another person, and to show the inner stuff. And that is not very easy. It's hard. In fact, so many that I have encountered that have come into my office in the past were looking for love, but they were so afraid to just let go and let someone see the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So, when you're comfortable with yourself, when you know yourself, when you understand yourself, you're not worried about what everybody is going to judge you for. You have already determined what's going on inside. And sometimes relationships will draw it all out. Things that you never even imagined existed inside of your life, right? In the inner life that's inside of you. There is the outer life, which should be a reflection of the inner life so that you can actually see it. But there's that outer life, and then there's the inner life. And there are things that we don't want to see. We know they're there, but we don't want to see them, so we don't have to work on them, and we don't have to face them. We think if we hide it, then we don't have to deal with it. But the problem is, we come into the presence of somebody and we're feeling that sense of draw to that person, and the first thing that happens is what? It starts to draw out that thing, the thing that we don't want to look at and we don't want to show anyone else. And I'm not saying that it has to be really, really bad. Sometimes, I kid you not, I have never in my whole life experienced so many women and some men, because it's not just women, but because I primarily work with women, I've never seen so many women who have body image issues. And, those are the things that when there is a real magnetic, amazing connection with somebody who is very accepting and non-judgmental and tender and loving, and knows and understands themselves and understands what love really is and what it actually isn't. It's a very safe place to be vulnerable with someone who can accept your vulnerabilities and all of the things inside that you feel very self-conscious about. And they don't even have to be physical. They could be emotional. And you could be extremely self-conscious about them. And a lot of times they're attached to each other, the physical and the emotional. So true love in the context of understanding each other comes in the form of the acknowledgement that there is an acceptance of inner archetypes. And that means the person has an aspect of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And that's within each of us. We both have feminine and masculine, both men and women, and even hormonally. We have estrogen as a woman, and we have testosterone as a woman, and the man has the very same thing, right? But we have them in a different type of balance. And when we are short on one of them, we kind of go through maybe a misalignment in our physicality and in our bodies. And so this means it's just so important to make sure that we have our medical checkups and we check those balances and make sure that estrogen and testosterone and the hormonal makeup of our bodies are in correct balance, because when they're not, we can't express ourselves in a physical way the way that we would like to. And it has everything to do with even the connection with our mindset. I mean, you can't deny that a woman that's going through hormonal changes, especially menopause or pregnancy changes, when hormones are, really kind of out of balance and crazy, and it's meant to be that way. I mean, it has a purpose, but you cannot deny that someone who's going through a change in season in their lives, that imbalance is something that we need to find a new equilibrium with. And, a good medical doctor, someone who really understands the aspects of how and why it's so important to have those things in balance. I cannot even tell you how many nurse practitioners, and this is not against them, it's just that a lot of the medical field relies on old research and old past stuff. And because of that, I can't even tell you how many nurse practitioners have told me that I should not be taking estrogen or hormone replacement when I started to go through menopause. And it's kind of personal, okay? But I refuse to allow someone who has not gone through the current research regarding the balance of estrogen and progesterone and testosterone in a woman, and why it's so important to preserve that balance. We need to replace what has been diminished, and it can be actually life-saving in a lot of ways. And the first thing basically I'm told is, oh, you are at risk for breast cancer, so you should not be taking estrogen, right? And I learned from research, and I mean current research, that actually estrogen helps guard against breast cancer. It helps maintain bone density. And the one thing that you do need to look out for and be checked for is ovarian cancer, uterine cancer. But if you've had a hysterectomy or something like that, it's really a non-issue. So, this is not meant to be medical advice. Please, 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 please don't take it as medical advice. Listen to your doctor and have that conversation. Do the research yourself. Go to the Mayo Clinic research online and go to, some of the real reputable places that do research. There's a woman that's on YouTube, and she goes by Menopausal Barbie, and she's kind of wild, She's got a free spirit, but she is a retired gynecologist and obstetrician, and her book is a little pricey, but the research inside of her book is amazing. And, I just recommend that you watch some of her videos. If you don't want to get the book, that's fine, because, technically I'm used to reading medical journals and manuals and things like that, but you might not be. So it might, not strike you. It might be, kind of hard for you to get through, but watching her is very interesting. And the information that I received from her, because she is someone who is a medical professional and has been in that field for many, many years, I just really recommend her. I really do. So look her up. I believe, as Carl Jung believed, that true love necessitates vulnerability. And in a relationship, and you believe there's that true love, both partners should feel safe to reveal their innermost fears, their desires, their insecurities. And this transparency builds trust and strengthens a bond between two people. Trust is earned. I've always held that to be true for myself. And not everybody likes it when I tell them trust is earned. It's like, you don't trust me. Of course I don't. You have not earned my trust. You have not shown me that you could be vulnerable with me, with your emotions, with your feelings, with your thoughts, that you could carry also my insecurities and listen to whatever those things are and understand them completely, and or at least as much as possible. And trust is earned through actions as well. I mean, sometimes we just have to see that someone has set a standard in their life, and that standard is to walk in integrity and to hold that integrity to be the utmost highest. So when someone allows you to be a vulnerable person and you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable with someone, you want to know that that person holds everything you share with them, from the emotional to the physical to the mental, all of the above, your life experiences, that that person's going to hold that information with the highest of integrity. And that means what is shared with somebody in the context of love and caring doesn't go anywhere else. It is a private thing between two people. It's like a locker surrounds you both. There's a bubble and it's locked and it doesn't go anywhere else. It stays between you. When I know personally that someone is going to value me so much that I can lay everything out on the table and be as vulnerable as possible, or as I could be. And I know that that person has shown me over time that they respect me so much and they hold me in integrity so much that the information shared is under lock and key in their heart, in their mind. And this creates a very soft zone. It creates a sacred zone. It's very sacred to be able to be vulnerable with someone and share your fears and your difficulties, some of your past, some of what your desires are, and have them not judge you. You know, it's amazing when you encounter that unconditional love and respect and honor. And of course, you want to give that in return. And when that happens, the romantic part of love takes on a whole other dynamic. It means so much more, but it's not quite as superficial as it might be if you didn't have that. It comes to a place or morphs into this place of depth that you never understood before and that you never experienced before. And isn't that what love is? To be able to go deep and to expose the depth of who you are to another person and have them accept all of it. And it's so healing. How could it not be when something is exposed? It has the potential, it becomes potential when it is aired out to actually be healed and just be swept away like the ocean, or transformed into what it should be. You can actually take your memories that are so difficult for you to even expose to yourself, let alone anyone else. And when you're in a very supportive environment, those memories can be transformed to memories that have value and have healing components to them. It doesn't always have to be an ugly memory. You can get rid of the ugly and just keep what's beautiful about yourself. It's a shift in mindset. It's a shift in vision. And I'm not saying that you have to be each other's psychologist. I'm saying be each other's love. Because love doesn't judge. Love keeps no record of wrongs. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is long-suffering. Go to the Bible. See what God says about love and how unconditional love really is. Love says, I have a relationship with you, but I don't own you. You are set free. And because that person, that other person, feels comfortable with you and set free to be who they are, they're more attracted to you because they're safe. And isn't that what we all want? We want to be safe in a world where there's so much suspicion. There's so much going on out there in the world that's difficult. And we can look at it to understand that it's there. The dark side exists. But when we get into a place of security and safety, we know no matter what happens in this world, we will be okay. We'll be okay. And own it for yourself. Be your own little cocoon if you don't have someone else to share it with. And you'll attract those who feel the same way. You'll attract those who have the same and believe the same dynamics as you do. And you'll find that it's not all that hard. Life doesn't have to be so hard. Let it be easy. Let it be easy. Take love and allow it to do its magic. Allow it to do its healing. Allow love to do what love is meant to do, and that is to embrace you with all that is as you embrace everything through the eyes of love. When you look at things through, I'm going to say, rose-colored love glasses, you see love, because what you look at and what you decide you want to see is what you are going to see always. So you'll see that in the other person that you're in front of, that you have in your life. And if you're looking for good things in that person, you will see those good things. You might see some of the difficulties and you might express them. And it might be very hard. But you want them to be aware because you love them. And you want them to heal. And you want them to walk in victory. And believe me, if you have that solid, you have that love with God, you have that love with coupling in, relationship, You have that love in friendship, and it's unconditionally beautiful. You see what is a little off, and you can express it safely, but you don't judge it. You know, and you understand that love can heal anything. Love covers a multitude of sins, going back to the Bible. It's one thing that my mother used to always quote to me. Love covers a multitude of sins, meaning it covers and says, I choose not to see this. I choose to see what is light in you. It's namaste. The light in me, the Christ in me, sees the light and the Christ in you. And when those things are brought together in a love relationship, kaboom, magic. And that's what I want you to have. Magic. Absolute bliss. Love personified. I hope that you have been given a lot to think about. And I'm just going to say I'm signing off and loving you from here, and talk to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.